It's time to get inside the Giants huddle.
Huddle up.
On Giants.com.
Here we go.
And the Giants mobile
Get
app.
them in there. Let's go.
Part of the Giants Podcast Network.
Welcome to another edition of the Giants Huddle Podcast. I am John Schmeelk. We continue to talk to Giants players here. We had these conversations after the Giants minicamp concluded, and we talked about their offseason and previewed 2023 just a little bit. We're going position by position. Today, we're going to talk to the Giants offensive tackles. We have Andrew Thomas, Matt Peart, Marcus McKethan, who's a swing guy, guard and tackle, and then we have second-year player Evan Neal, who really is one of the most critical players on the Giants roster this year. But we're going to lead off with someone who might have had a better year than any New York football Giant last season, at least on offense, Andrew Thomas. Now we're joined by a Giants starting left tackle, Andrew Thomas. Andrew, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
So, you're a polished, savvy vet now. You've been in this league for a while. You've made a lot of progress, Pro Bowl, all the, all-pro votes, all the accolades, right? So just tell me about how your approach in the offseason has changed as you've been in the league longer and continue to kind of improve on your way to where you are now as a player.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is the first year with no surgery in the offseason.
Yep.
So I've been excited to be able to push myself a little bit more in the offseason and just making sure I stay healthy going into the season. So looking forward to that.
I know you don't like talking about injuries, but I feel like where you're off, I can ask you about it now. How much did that ankle really kind of held you back those first couple of years?
I mean, it's part of the game. A lot of people play hurt, play injured. It's just something you just got to work through. So I'm just doing my best to stay on top of prehab and stuff like that. So it doesn't bother me throughout the season.
So you said you really attacked it this offseason trying to work on your craft. What was your big focus in terms of the things that you're, even though you're playing as one of the top left tackles in the league, where you're still trying to improve yourself and get better?
I would say in the weight room, I would say upper body strength has been a big focus for me. And then a lot of like mobility prehab stuff for your hips, knees, ankles, just like body maintenance stuff. And then on the field, just trying to be more consistent with my punches, my hand placement, and then consistency with my sets as well.
Is it a nice change where you actually have the same offensive line coach for a second consecutive year?
No, it is great to be in the same system, back-to-back years. So I'm looking forward to us growing as an offense.
How does it help you having Bobby for a second straight year and understanding the technique he teaches individually and as a team that you can just kind of carry that over? It's
great. I mean, we're not learning each other. We already understand, what make each other tick. Understand the offense, and you can start asking, more questions, like really understanding, the full process and not just regurgitating information. So I'm looking forward to it.
What has it been like having a bunch of guys next to you as they kind of battle out that left guard spot throughout the spring?
Yeah, we have some talented guys, and when you have guys competing like that, we know that whoever's going to be playing is going to be the best option, and that's the best thing for the team. So rooting for all those guys. Obviously, only one can play, but I'm looking forward to whoever the best man winning.
How do you see this offensive line coming together as a group? Because, you can talk about yourself all as individuals, but if you're not playing together, it really doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we want to be cohesive. We want to be the bell cows of the offense, protecting DJ and open up holes for Say and whoever else is running the ball. So just trying to be, a solid piece to this offense.
Finally, have you almost figured out your routine now on like what it means to be a pro and how it succeeds, how you can succeed as a pro, where now you've gotten a feel for yourself, your body, the game, where now you've developed and you've kind of, I hate to use the expression figure things out because you're always learning, right?
Yeah.
But where now, all right, I kind of know what I'm doing now, and this is how I can be a great player.
Yeah, I definitely have my routine, but like you said, you're always trying to learn, get little nuggets from here and there to become a better player. Because if you stay stagnant, people will pass you by. So just working to always, get better.
Andrew, good stuff, man. Appreciate the time, man.
Appreciate you.
All right, now we're joined by Giants offensive tackle Matt Peart. Matt, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me.
No, thanks for being with me. Quick question for you. I guess we'll start here. You've kind of had to battle a lot of injuries early in your career, man. How has that been for you mentally trying to stick with it, and how are you right now, I guess would be the way I put it.
Honestly, it was a blessing. It's allowed me to take time and really, fine-tune the things I needed to work on so we prevent those lapses in the future and really just work on my mental side of everything. And right now I feel great.
You full go? You're good?
Man, I feel amazing right now. It's truly a blessing to be here.
Is it exciting where you can go into the season now and you're not worrying about any of that other stuff and you just got to worry about playing the game?
That is just a great peace of mind aspect of everything. Knowing that I can just go and finally play with my brothers is amazing.
And there's an open battle for that swing tackle spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want to show the coaches this offseason and the summer when camp comes where you can earn that spot?
I want to prove that I was better than I was before, honestly. That's just my mentality, to prove it to them and myself. Just knowing that, I've had missed times and just need to shake this little injury bug off of me and keep moving forward. That's it.
How beneficial for a young guy like you to have a second straight year with Bobby Johnson, so you know exactly how he wants you to play, teaches you the same technique year in, year out, where you can kind of maybe finally take that jump?
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. It's amazing, like, having that continuity, especially in the offensive line, like Coach OG. He's a great student of the game, and whenever he talks football, you always learn some new tidbit here and there. So having that second year coming into this, it's amazing.
So what are your major goals then for 2023?
Major goals, honestly, just to come back. It's a new offensive line room, so definitely bond with the new guys and bond with my brothers. Showcase that I can still perform at a very high level, because I truly believe that as well. And honestly, at the end of the day, just have fun being New York Giant. Yes, sir.
And then personally, technique-wise, like, what were you really trying to work on and kind of get better at? Now that you were healthy, you're not worried about rehabbing, right? You can actually work on that stuff.
Yeah, technique-wise, that's like Coach OG. Like, he has a specific way of doing specific things. And me personally, a goal is just making sure that I'm able to replicate what he wants on the field, even on a practice or an individual, just making sure that I get everything he wants relative to the look and how everything is, like making sure that I can do the right technique to the relative play, if that makes sense.
Matt, can't wait to see you on the field this year, man. Thank you, dude.
Appreciate you. Got me a little tongue-tied right there.
I do that. And now we're joined by Giants offensive lineman Marcus McKethan. Marcus, how are you, man?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. I'm just trying to get healthy. That's like the main thing of my offseason so far.
So how close are you?
I'm saying pretty close. It's getting over that final hump, and I feel like I'll be there.
So you feel like when camp opens, obviously there are no guarantees, we never know, but your expectation is that you should be ready to go pretty early?
That's kind of my timeline right there, training camp. Yeah.
How tough was last year dealing with that?
I've been injured like a little bit for every once in a while, but nothing kind of prepares you for an ACL injury. So for that was kind of a little bit rough on my mental, but it's really just make sure I'm staying involved. I'm going to meetings and I'm still part of the team. We
had a chance to look with Darian here. He dealt with kind of the same thing.
Right,
Shep had the injury, right? How much were you able to lean on your teammates? And unfortunately, there were a lot of guys that were dealing with that type of injury where you guys were trying to kind of help each other out, kind of deal with all that stuff.
Right, that was the main thing, that I wasn't alone, that we had like 3 or 4 guys that was also kind of in a similar boat. So I was able to just lean on them, talk to them, like, hey, how you dealing with this? How you dealing with that? And we had a lot of those conversations.
Have you been able to work on your craft as much as you would have liked this offseason because you were doing a lot of the rehab?
I was able to do some of it, but most of it was towards my craft. It was more towards the physical element of just being ready and being able to capable of do the things I need to do. But that was mainly.
Were you able to get those mental reps in at least last year, even though you were hurt?
Yeah, I was able to get those mental reps in, but it's a physical.
Not the same,
It's not the same. It's a physical job, so missing that physical element.
How much were you able to lean on Josh? Obviously, you guys have the experience. He's trying to kind of help pass that stuff on to you and kind of help you along.
Right. We still somebody to talk to. We can still have we've played similar guys. We've been in the similar elements. So just having that conversation of like, oh, how is it? How's it playing in the league? How is it playing on Sundays? So just having that talk with them too.
How are they training you? Are they training you in multiple positions now? Are you focusing on one? Have they told you?
I mean, I'm focusing on multiple. I'm still trying to do guard and tackle. So it's like just being available.
Still both, huh?
Yes, sir.
So when you work on those 2 different spots, it's obviously different footwork, I think, right, at the different spots. So how do you kind of break up your time, left and right too, right? So kind of make sure that you're ready to go at all those spots.
Right. Well, it's kind of like even though it's different positions, they still have a lot of similar elements. So a lot of the fundamentals are still the same. It just might be a slight tweak, but I feel like I've been handling it pretty well because I've been kind of doing similar things in college, but even though I didn't play able to tackle as much, but I still had to learn it. So I still see myself doing well in that.
Do you feel like you're in a pretty good spot with that right now?
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a pretty decent spot.
So what are your major goals now as you kind of head into camp and get ready for the season?
We're still mastering the playbook. You can always get better at that. Make sure I'm 100%, not rushing anything. And just making sure I'm ready. I'm still absorbing all the knowledge from the vets. We still got got similar old heads in the room, so I'm still learning from them.
What is it about Bobby Johnson that makes him a good offensive line coach?
Oh, man.
You're smiling.
He's just a great coach, man. He just really break it down for you, teach it to you. I mean, everybody learn at their own pace, and then he's willing to take the more time out and to make sure you got it. So I love that as a coach.
You're happy to get some rookie offensive linemen in the room, so you aren't the youngest guy in the totem pole anymore?
Oh, and I'm not the youngest, but I still got more time to put in.
Good stuff. Marcus, I appreciate it, dude. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Now we're joined by Giants right tackle Evan Neal. Evan, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. Happy to be here. How you doing?
I'm doing great. All right. So when you went back and looked at your rookie year and you had a chance to kind of settle, you thought about it a couple weeks, took some time off, and you look back to your rookie year, how did you kind of take it in? What do you think you achieved, and maybe what meat was left on the bone a little bit?
I feel like I gained a lot of experience going out there, at right tackle. Gained a lot of valuable experience that's going to, continue to carry me for the rest of my career. As far as meat on the bones, I guess you can say there's just a lot left out there for me. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I played through things. Missed 5 weeks. Had a couple poor performances and things like that that I had to just kind of shake back from. But all in all, man, I'm proud of the way that I performed, and I'm proud of my resiliency from my rookie year.
I know you guys, and specifically offensive linemen, don't use injuries as an excuse, and I'm not trying to set you up for that here. But I know Howard Cross, who's our sideline reporter, former Giants tight end on the Giants radio network, and he said, look, after you got back from your knee, he was watching, and he goes, look, just the way he's setting it doesn't look right to him as someone that played the game. I'm not an expert, he is. So how much was that knee still something you really had to manage even after you got back on the field? Was it still something that affected how you were able to play the position a little bit?
I mean, it was tender, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was the first time that I got hurt during season and had to kind of battle back, so I guess I was just getting back used to it from that standpoint.
Good, but now you're back 100%, you're good to go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
That's excellent. All right, so when you went back and you decided to work on some technique stuff so you can build on that experience you mentioned from last season, what were some of the technique things at the position you really trying to improve on this offseason?
Really just everything, bro. Like, I want to get better across the board, you know what I'm saying? Looked at my stance. I tweaked my stance some. I got a lot healthier. I got a lot more flexible, worked a lot on flexibility, just overall just being able to move throughout my lower body and my hips and stuff like that. But definitely just tweaking my stance. Just making sure that I'm in a stance that I'm comfortable in, and that I can load up my front leg and press out of it and be explosive and also be balanced and under control at the same time.
Yeah, and you just mentioned what I was going to ask you about, the stance stuff and working on your flexibility. I imagine that's going to improve your balance a lot too, right? And that's probably a big part of a lot of this, right, for your improvement?
Yeah, I definitely say so, man. Especially being a big guy, I'm tall. Like, flexibility is it's marquee for me. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing a whole bunch of yoga, working with the Giants in the training room and stuff like that. I've been moving along great.
We had Mark Lewinsky here, and I asked him, where have you seen Evan, progress from last year at the end of the year to where he showed up this year? He goes, you know what, honestly, it was the progress he made during the season last year that he said impressed him the most. But he said a lot of, rookies, they get thrown in the deep end of the pool, and they're just trying to float. Like, they're not making progress. They're just trying not to sink to the bottom of the sea, right? But he thought you really made a lot of progress and improved as the season went along. Where do you think you made the most progress as last year went along, as you got more experience?
Yeah, I feel like I got better at pass protection as the year went on. Just kind of got more and more comfortable in my right-handed stance, getting out into my kick step and stuff like that. And also just reps, man. I feel like this league is about reps, and the more reps and experience that you get, the better you're going to be. So I'm definitely fortunate that I was able to go out there and get that type of experience for sure.
Now, you had right tackle experience before, obviously, but you had played left tackle the last year at Alabama. So now that you're doing the same position 2 years in a row, is that helpful to you? Was it more natural?
It's extremely helpful. I mean, this is the first time that I've played the same position consecutive years in my life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited to be able to go
Even going back
there.
to high school?
Even going back to high school, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm definitely excited to see how I feel, for sure.
That's interesting. Great. So what are your major goals then for 2023 as we head into training camp?
To be the best that I can be, man. To help anchor down the right side of the offensive line and help our offense go out there and be efficient and ultimately win games.
Evan, great stuff. We can't wait to see it on the field, man. Right. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
We thank Evan Neal for joining us. And I hope fans really got an appreciation for how much he thinks about the game, how much he cares, what a smart player he is. And I think there are reasons to be optimistic that he does take a jump in year number 2 with that knee healthy and just with a lot more reps under his belt. The Giants certainly need him to play well at right tackle to have success this season. So we thank Evan, we thank Matt, we thank Marcus, and of course Andrew Thomas for joining us on this offensive tackle edition of the Giants Huddle podcast. We'll see you next time, everybody.